All right, so today we're going to be drawing the ratchet wheel. Now, the starting point I left you off at was with our template file. We had our layers created, we saved it, and we also set up our object snap settings, which are down here in the lower right, and those will come into play a little bit later. So in order to start drawing the ratchet wheel, the first thing we need to do is make a file that we can draw our ratchet wheel on. So we're going to take our template file, which we're in right now, and I have this tab open just for our dimension reference. But let's do that. So we're going to go to the big A. We're going to click Save As. Now what Save As does, as I've mentioned before, is it makes a copy of the file that you are currently working in, and it puts it wherever you tell it to. So in this case, I'm in my sudo H drive, and I'm going to call this ratchet wheel. Let's call it ratchet wheel 1, and we'll click save. Oop, not that. I want to call it ratchet wheel. Name that. All right. Ratchet wheel 1. Okay. So again, now we can see our title has updated, our location has updated, and I can get rid of this. All right, we're ready to draw. So let's start breaking down our ratchet wheel. So we look here. Hopefully you remember the way we drew it by hand. We start off by drawing a 6-inch diameter circle, and that's because our overall dimension is 6 inches for the point to point. Then we had to draw a circle that was slightly smaller, and it was 1/8 of an inch, this dimension right here. Smaller in radius, though. So we're going to reduce the radius by 1/8 of an inch, so we're going to be reducing the diameter by 3/4 of an inch, which would give us 5 3/4. Let's jump over here. We have our object layer selected, and now we are ready to start drawing our circle. So we'll click Circle. We're set at center radius, so our radius of our ratchet wheel is going to be 3 inches to start. So we got to zoom in, so we're going to scroll up on our mouse wheel. Use the pan tool to sort of center things up. Now, we're ready to bring this circle in by 1/8 of an inch in radius. So for that, we're going to use our offset tool. And right now it says specify offset distance. We're going to tell it 1/8 or 0.125. Either way, you could type in the fraction 1/8 or 0.125. We're going to hit enter. We're going to click our circle, and we're going to go inside of the circle before we click a second time. It does not matter how far, as long as you're inside of it. If we go outside, you see it makes a bigger circle for outside. We want to make a smaller circle. And if it were me and I really wanted to verify, that my circle was smaller and I wasn't sure, we can go up to the annotation tab here where it says linear. We can drop it down and go to diameter. We can just click on our circle. See, it says 5.75 diameter. Hit escape to kind of cancel that. All right, so we're in good shape there. So our next step is to draw our two circles in the middle. So let's jump over there. So our two center circles, I'm going to zoom out just one notch here, are both 3/4 of an inch in diameter and 3/4 of an inch in radius. So let's draw those. Circle. Hover over the edge and you see a marker comes up in the middle. So now we know we're in the center. We click there, 0.75 radius. And we'll do C for circle, hit enter. And we can go over the same point. And we're going to hit D for diameter this time after we started our circle. Hit enter. And now we can type 0.75 again. And we get a circle that is 0.75 in diameter. All right, we're off to a good start. Now we're going to start working on our teeth. So to draw the teeth, we started by drawing a line from the center over at 0 degrees. Okay. And then let's see how far apart our teeth are, angular-wise. So if we look, we have an angular dimension between our teeth of 15 degrees, which means we have 24 teeth in total. So we have to draw a line not only at 0 degrees, but at 15 degrees. And then we're going to connect the inside circle with the outside circle to form one tooth, which is just 2 lines. So one tooth is going to be one long line and one short line, just like that. So let's do that. So first thing we want to do to get 15 degrees, yes, you could technically draw a line, and then as you can see right below my cursor, next to where it says specify next point or, you see an angular measurement there, and it's going up as I go. But you notice it's not snapping. I'm not getting that green extension at 15 degrees. So we're going to hit escape. We're going to come down here to our polar tracking. We're going to click the drop down, and we can see that we've got a lot of options here. One of them is increments of 15 degrees, 15, 30, 45, 60, etc. So we're going to select that, and watch what happens when I draw our line from the center out this time. Come up, watch what happens at 15 degrees. Snaps over to that. So we can just click that, hit escape, and now we've got kind of our 2 bounds of our teeth. So now we can draw another line, so we'll hit L and enter. We're going to draw the long portion of our tooth from the inside out. Now, notice this clicked. It wanted to click right here. We got to make sure we click on the outside circle there. All right. Now, I can delete either one of these 2 long lines. I'm going to delete this one. And now we've got to come in with our trim tool, and we've got to leave just this little section of this line. So trim, we're going to click trim up here. We're going to hit enter once, and we're just going to click on our sections of our line till we're just left with that little piece, and we'll hit escape to shut down trim. So now we've got 1 tooth in our big circles. We're going to get rid of our 2 big circles up here by highlighting them, pressing delete. So this is all we should be left with, our 2 0.75 circles, 1 radius, 1 diameter, and then in the right position, our 1 tooth. So now, here's a new tool. We're going to go up to the Modify toolbar, and there's this tool called Array, and it's got a drop down. We want to do a polar array. So we'll click on that. It says Select Objects. We're going to click both of our lines for our tooth, and we're going to hit Enter. Now it says Specify the center point of the array. It's going to be the center of our circles, and you'll see it'll preview a little bit for us here. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to go up to where it says Items right here. We're going to change that 6 to 24. What I like to do to make it happen is I'm just going to click somewhere to the right of where it says Close Array. You'll see it'll update the preview. The other thing that's really important about this before we click Close Array is we want to make sure this is not associative. So we want to uncheck that box so it's dull gray instead of blue. Associative arrays basically make everything one solid object, so we can't individually edit things, and it makes the whole thing a pain to change later on. We're going to leave it just how it is. So we'll click Close Array. So now we've got all of our teeth drawn. Isn't that so much easier than drawing them each by hand painstakingly and then erasing all the extra? All right. Now we're going to draw those circles around the outside. So those sit on a guide circle that is 2 inches in radius. I'm going to draw that as a construction circle. So that means we're going to switch our layer to construction. We're going to draw a circle and use the same center point, 2 inches. There we go. Now we're going to switch back to object. And our circles that sit on that construction circle are 1 inch in diameter, so they're a 1/2 inch in radius. So click on circle. And then we have to make sure that quadrant thing is checked off, and you'll see this diamond come up. So now we can type 0.5 or 1/2 inch, and we've drawn one of those 2 circles, or 6 circles, sorry. So now, rather than try and draw each of those circles painstakingly one at a time, what we're going to do is we're going to use this to set up our center lines really quick. And then, once we have our center lines, then we will array those 6 circles and make sure everything's nice and ready to go for that. So, to draw the center lines on here, first we're going to offset, type offset, our 1 inch circle by 1/8 of an inch. So we'll type 1/8, hit enter. We're going to click this circle, and we're going to click outside of it, again, making it bigger this time. Hit escape to turn off offset. Now I'm just going to come in with a center line. So I'm going to select my center layer, line. We're just going to draw a circle across right there. Or a line, sorry. Draw a line across. And now we want this circle to be also a center line. So we're going to switch this while it's selected to center. If that doesn't work, another option is we can, I'm backing up here, we can use the match properties. So I can click match properties, I can click my line, and then click my circle. What that does is that copies the properties of one line type to another. So that's right there, that's fixed. Now what we'll do is we'll use the trim tool. So we'll type trim and hit enter twice. We'll just trim just the outside of the circle. So we're just left with the center lines that we want. And then we'll delete the guide circle we made. So now we have a center line. Now you'll notice there's no dashes there. We don't have that little plus in the middle. None of that. So what we need to do here is we need to adjust the properties of these two lines. We're going to left click on each of them. Not on the end, not in the middle. It has to be kind of in the center of the type of circle they are. And then we're going to right click on one of them. We're going to go down and we're going to select properties. And we're going to adjust our line type scale to, let's try 0.5 and hit enter. Okay, that looks good, so we're going to leave that. So we adjusted the line type scale to 0.5. We'll close that, and we'll hit escape. So now we're good. Now we can array this. So let's go back to polar array. Up here, select objects. We're going to click three things. Our two center lines, and then our circle. We're going to hit enter. Our center point of the array is going to be the same center point as before. We have 6, so that's fantastic. And then we want to make sure it's not associative, and we'll close the array. So that's done. Last thing we need to do is put in our tooth, and then our last two center lines, and we're done. To put in the keyway, we're going to switch back to our object layer. We're going to click on line. Our keyway is 1/8 by 1/32, so it's 1/32 tall. So we're going to click on line, go to the top of this circle. We're going to go up 1/32, hit enter, and we'll go to the right. 1/2 is going to be 1/16, 1/16. We'll just come straight down until we touch the circle. And we'll do the same thing. We're going to draw a line to the left, 1/16, enter, and then just come straight down until we hit our circle again. We'll delete our little 1/32 line, and then we'll come in with trim again. Click trim, hit enter, and we'll just erase that out. Rushing a little bit because I'm running out of time on my recorder here. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to offset this circle by 1/8 of an inch. So we'll click offset. Our distance is already set to 1/8 of an inch, so I just got to hit enter once. Offset this out. Hit escape. We're going to switch over to our center line again and select line. And we're just going to draw a vertical line. Hit escape. And then a horizontal line across this. Hit escape, and we'll delete our outside circle. Now again, we need to change the line type scale. However, pro tip here, we can use that match properties again. So we'll click match properties. Our source is going to be this good center line we've got here. And then we're going to paste the properties, which basically all we're changing is the line type scale, on those two lines. Hit escape. And now we are done with our ratchet wheel. Last thing to do, because we haven't named Ratchetwheel, make sure you have it named Ratchetwheel and it's not an old file that you're going to overwrite. Because right now, if we click save, this is something else you needed to keep originally, and you didn't save as at the beginning, if you skip that step, then you're going to lose whatever was originally on here. So, since we did call it Ratchetwheel, we did our save as already, all we have to do is click our quick save button up here, or click our quick save under the A. And then we are done with the ratchet wheel.